Welcome back to Everything All the Time. Court McCowan on his way to Nice, which is the vacation spot of his choice right now. But, as we said, it's probably the safest place in the world. The New York Times says the Democrats fight after an unruly day. Is that what it says? To pull together on an unruly day. I thought the Democratic Convention was awesome yesterday. I used to do these conventions with Huntley Brinkley. To show you what I used to go through. Joining us now on our Everything All the Time phone, that's what we're calling it, is John Amato from crooksandliars.com. Hello, John. How are you, buddy?
I'm excellent, Pat. How you guys doing?
You're probably swamped, right?
Oh, my God. I'm just destroyed. It's been a couple of weeks of nonstop, 6 in the morning till midnight kind of stuff.
Yeah, just like the old days.
I love it.
John got a website that's political, leans left, and does lean left, right? Or does it tip over left?
We are considered a progressive news and opinion website.
That's why you're on today. So what did you think last night? What's the broad brush on the Democratic Convention opening night?
Well, I thought it was a good night of speeches. I thought that the party rallied around, really nicely.
Yeah.
To me, Sarah Silverman's
Awesome
speech and then little improv really was a turning point because, obviously in the convention hall, remember there's 45% of the, convention are Bernie delegates, but I think it's being misread where, it's not like 45% of the people in the convention hall are Bernie or bust people, but there were still a few delegations, our California delegation is one, and so they're just, diehards, and so they got, so they'll, and also from what I hear that their delegations were close to where the media was, so which made their voices sound a bit louder on TV.
That's all right. It's America.
But when Sarah Silverman, gave it was like an incredible speech. Afterwards on MSNBC, Nicole Wallace, who's a Republican analyst, and she worked in the George Bush administration. She said that was the greatest political speech she'd ever heard from a celebrity before, and I would go as far as say for most anybody.
Yeah, no, she was great. And by the way, I love Al Franken. Al Franken, he always acts like, I know Al, and he always looks like he knows something we don't, right? So do you think they were any troubles from night one? I thought Cory Booker was great. Michelle Obama was unbelievable, giving Melania Trump more words for her next speech. And and I thought Bernie. Let's talk about Bernie. That was a brave move by him. He didn't do a Ted Cruz on us.
Oh no! Well, I never thought Bernie isn't that type of a narcissist, egomaniac that Ted Cruz is. By the way, I did tweet out that Michelle Obama actually gave 2 incredible speeches in the span of 7 days. Because since Melania praised her as the good spots, that was one. And last night, most people, or if you read the punditry, thought that Michelle's speech was the best, and she really has come into her own. And if she wanted to run as a politician,
exactly,
would,
the door will be open. John,
if she chooses to do it.
Yeah.
But with Bernie, he ran a hard campaign, and so now he, obviously he did the right thing, I guess in New Hampshire, which was going to happen because Bernie, again, he's not, the idea, and listen, I'm a progressive, and I belong to a political pack, Blue America, and we were the first pack to actually endorse Bernie Sanders. And because our goal in the political realm is to help and elect progressives and push progressive ideas to help the working class of America.
Exactly.
And so what's happened because of this is that the message, the party is definitely shifted more to help the working class, and Bernie became a leader. Now, it was interesting. I don't know if you guys saw earlier in the day when he addressed the delegates, when he told them that he was going to, we have to defeat Trump, we have to elect Hillary Clinton. There's obviously a portion that don't want to hear that. So it was an interesting moment in the morning at that delegation lunch, I think it was.
Right, at lunch.
And then his speech, he gave a typical Bernie sort of a stump speech, And I was watching on Twitter. Frank Luntz was first, obviously trying to say that he's not saying enough to Hillary, opportunity missed. But of course, there was like
Luntz.
20 minutes left in the speech, and then he went full bore supporting Hillary. And he's, they're negotiating now with the Clinton camp that hopefully this will happen, where when Hillary gets the nomination, with the delegates, that Bernie will be the one
nominating speech. Yeah.
Right, and Bernie will be the one today to sort of give her the introduce her as the nominee. Which and here's the thing that you can see just outside of, forget about content and speeches and Scott Baio versus Michelle Obama,
Right.
But the idea that with the Trump camp and the RNC, they basically shut out all the Never Trump people and all the Ted Cruz supporters. And then a lot of sort of big time Ted Cruz supporters didn't bother showing up. So there was little outside of that first day, of sort of people expressing their displeasure with Trump. But the Democratic Party doesn't do that. And Hillary and the DNC and they could have tried to do along those lines. We have to squelch this. We have to, we don't want to make a look. Instead, they're embracing the whole idea, and so and it just shows the difference of inclusion as opposed to authoritarian.
John Amato's our guest from Crooks and Liars. Court McCowan's on his way to Italy, by the way, and we just had him on the phone. Yeah, I think the difference between Trump, I alone can do this, to Cory Booker, we will rise. I mean, I don't want to give Don any Trump any. He was so awful. Cory Booker, is that his presidential speech? Is that his Obama entry?
Absolutely. Cory Booker was making his pitch that that I'm going to be after whatever happens for 8 years, I'll be the next guy. And to me, as far as progressives go, progressive causes, Cory Booker is not what I would call a progressive champion. But it was a solid speech. It was a good speech. And again, you see that as you said, like with Trump, it's just about me, I. It's like the greatest speech. I remember I was listening to it and I missed capturing this one moment. He was actually telling a rally how brave he was to be running for the presidency. Like, it's just, I'm brave. Look, I know. Look, how brave am I? I'm so brave. I'm so brave to actually, campaign. And it's like, so I don't know. Have you had any psychiatrists on to try to analyze it?
I mean, he's so brave that he is able to go out there being so stupid. I mean, the guy I've known Don for 30 years. He's not a stupid man. But in politics, it ain't working. So,
I called his speech, by the way, everybody was referring to like Good Morning in America right now. And I called it the eve of the apocalypse speech.
We're on the eve of destruction. John Amato with us for a couple more minutes. Hey, John, what's going to be the big issue? I mean, they didn't even mention ISIS last night, but what's going to be the big issue coming out of this apparently all domestic convention?
Well, here's the thing. The Democrats are not soft on, if you want to say security or national security or terrorism. The idea, look, going into this election, right, when we started, the economy had recovered significantly. Is it the best economy? Absolutely not. But when you have, realistically, a depression into the magnitude that we had after the financial global crisis collapse, we've recovered well enough, and where Republicans just couldn't run on like tax cuts or everything, and their whole plan was to make this a national security, general election, and that's why suddenly Trump now is, I'm the law and order president. I mean, going back to Richard Nixon, and he's lying about crime statistics. He
was so far off on crime statistics. And also, do you believe, as a lot of people believe, that we're an ISIS attack away from a Trump presidency? That's how dumb people are.
I mean, to say I'm going to be so tough. It's like if I was the president, there would be wiped out already in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I would just go there, they'd wipe out. I just bombed them. Where would you bomb them? Well, I can't tell you that because then they'd hide from the bomb.
Right. It's
But we're
going
going
to
to
be.
get to the intelligence. Let me tell you something. The intelligence is going to be so great and so fast and so swift, and we're going to intelligence the shit out of them. You know, and it's like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
I think we're already doing that. Anyway, we got to let you go. You're running on fumes, I bet, but it's going to be a great week. John, you're always good to come on. We love you here, and thank you so
Love you
much,
too,
John.
Pat.
Have a good day.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
There he is, Mr. Crooks and Liars, although he's not a crook or a liar. But John Amato is like the voice of progressive politics in this country, and we love him for that. And he works hard. I mean, it's hard work on that side of the road. We come back, Jeff Riley, who has produced as part of the Anonymous People movie, and they've got a new movie coming out about recovery. It's a very different look. Speaking of Nixon, it was Just Say No on the war on drugs. This actually is a war on drugs. Back in a minute.